You see, our system is communist. And I hate to say that because I'm a Marine. I went to Vietnam twice. I fought for this country, went to military school. Like I said, my family were locked in internment camps. And today they're talking about reparations for the blacks. I mean, give me a break. My family didn't get reparations. They took all their land, they took their houses, they took everything from them. But what history doesn't tell you is that Hitler rose to power on reparations. Why don't they teach us that stuff? So that's why I learned at military school. So today I hear all the blacks talking, man, racism is terrible. You've experienced it, I've experienced it, And racism is, it's a sin of the soul, spiritual. It's spiritual to judge a man or a woman by their skin. That's horrible. But anyway, if you study Marx, Lenin, Hitler, and Mao, you'll see it all over the school system. That's what today's postmodernist education, and postmodernist education actually started in 1930. When out of the Frankfurt School in Germany, they moved over to Columbia University. And Columbia University is the headquarters for Marxism. But they don't tell you that. And so the Teachers College at Columbia University is where the Frankfurt School set up in 1930, which is Marxism. I am a billionaire in debt. You know why? Because I get tax breaks for borrowing money. And the reason I am so rich is because I'm in debt. And my friend Dave Ramsey says, live debt free. I'm going, well, you're an idiot. I mean, he's my friend, but I say, Dave, I like debt. He says, I know, but most people can't handle debt. I said, I agree. But that's why there's no financial education in schools, because if you knew how to handle debt, you wouldn't save that crappy dollar you have in your hand. I'd rather borrow the money tax-free.
And then do what with it?
Huh?
And then do what with it?
I have to invest it to make more money. Everybody thinks it's real estate, stocks. When I talk to most idiots out there, they go, oh, I have a 401k. I go, well, you've been sold a bill of goods, sweetheart. The government sponsors this 401k. I said, no, the Federal Reserve and Wall Street sponsors it. If you study history, in 1974, there was an act called the ERISA Act, Employee Retirement Income Security Act. That led to a thing called the 401k. And that was in 1974, just after Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard, and then the economy could boom through the stock market. So do I own any stocks? No, because I'm not a communist. I am a capitalist. I don't have to buy stocks. I invent my own. That's what capitalists do. I borrow money. The more money I borrow, the less tax I pay. So what happens? So let's say I own a commercial building. I buy it for $1 million. It goes up to $10 million. Most guys would sell it. The moment you sell, let's say, a basis of $1 million to a basis of 10, I have a $9 million capital gains. So instead of selling it and flipping it like those flippers do, I don't flip, I don't sell. See, the moment you sell, as you know as an attorney, you've now executed a capital event, a taxable event. So what I do is, let's say I buy a property for $1 million, it goes to $10 million. I'll borrow out $5 tax-free. My cell phone, everybody has a cell phone today. That's the most powerful tool ever created for entrepreneurs. We're on a depression right now. A recession is 2 quarters of declining growth.
Right.
But a depression is suboptimal growth. So you could have, let's say that your GDP should be 4%, but you're operating at 2%. That's a depression. People don't know history. Is that what happened on September 17, 2019? There was a crash in the repo market. The average person has no idea what the repo market was. Then what happened in 2021, so they pumped up. So the last time there was a crash in the repo market was 2008. So I'm sitting here in 2019, September 17th. It's like, my God, the repo market crashed. And then a few months later, COVID appears. I went, oh my God, here it is.
Can you tell us what the repo market is?
Repo market is, I call it the pawn shop. It's where people go in there and what happened at the repo market is the Fed starts pumping money into the commercial banks like Bank of America and those guys, Wells Fargo. So they started pumping money into the banks because the banks were empty. That's what happened when Lehman Brothers went down. They didn't have enough cash in them. but it's not even goes into the economy. It stays within the banking system. So what happens in a reverse repo, so 2008 was a repo, 2019 was a repo, and then what happened in 2021 was a reverse repo. The money started coming out of banks and going back to the Fed. Now the average guy, what does that mean? It means that the commercial banks don't trust their assets. Their assets are questionable. It's the valuation. Valuation is an opinion. Mm-hmm. This house is worth $10 million. Well, that's an opinion. So they started wondering what was the true valuation of their so-called assets. So the money started coming out of commercial banks like Bank of America and Wells Fargo, flowed back into the Fed because they'd rather have it at the Fed than in the marketplace. The average person has no idea what we're talking about. We have to watch the flows of cash. That's why my game is called cash flow. Depression is when more jobs are lost and they're going to have to print more money. Just as they did to prevent when Fauci, fascist Fauci shut down the U.S. economy, the whole world economy is shut down. How can they pay people not to work? America is now the largest debtor nation in history. Student loan debt is out of sight. Consumer loan debt is out of sight. Stock market is all based upon debt. Only reason I buy Bitcoin is I don't trust my government. I don't trust the Federal Reserve Bank. I don't trust the Treasury. I don't trust basement Biden, and I don't trust the stock market. Now, if you trust all four of them, have a good life. I have gold, silver, Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is a bet against the government. I'll say this one more time. If you study Marx, a central bank is essential to communism. That's the Fed. It's the third central bank we've had. It came into existence in 1913. In 1913, the Fed was created, so was the tax department in 1913. Oh, coincidence. The average guy has no idea that happened. The other thing about Bitcoin is my basis is $7,000. Always remember your profit is made when you buy, not when you sell. So do I recommend people buy? I think Bitcoin's around 40,000 today as we talk. Would I recommend it at 40? No. But at 6, I would.
So you just wait for it to crash?
Of course. Buy low, sell high. But I never sell. I borrow out. You see, if I'm trying to think tax law, English common law, and Amsterdam was corporate law. So what happens is, let me give the same example. I buy Bitcoin or a property at $1 million, property, understand? It goes up to 10. I'll borrow it at 5. That fell $5 million. I still have the property. I haven't sold it. I have no taxable event because I didn't sell it. So that $5 million is tax-free because it's debt. You see, debt is the key. And guys, oh, I live debt-free. I mean, you're a stupid monkey. That's what it means.